tell everybody who you are and what we're doing. I just want to wave at the people that are waving. Mm-hmm. So for people who don't know me, first of all, I'm Jo Manford, and I'm organized in the Player Wellness Program, and we've got the Sunshine Ladies golfers on the Player Wellness Program. And they've done the Strengths Finder with me, and so they understand their top strengths, but that's not what we're going to be discussing today. So this is Lejeanne Lethwaite, and she is a pro golfer, and she's traveling in Europe at the moment. So thank you, Lejeanne, for joining us.
Pleasure.
And I think what's come up for us during the process is the depth of what it actually takes to travel. And so I'd love you to share like the fun of playing internationally and what it takes, and the reality of it, and then some of the obstacles that you face on a daily basis, and maybe how your strengths have helped you to perform and maybe deal with any adversities. And if anybody has questions that they want to pop in the comment, please do so. And so it's really lovely to have you.
No, thanks, Jo. We've come a long way in the last couple of months, and thanks to your wellness program, it's helped me deal with the adversities that I have on tour and traveling all the time. So not just that, also on the golf course, lots of mental things to work on and that sort of thing. But yeah, just to touch on what you were saying, a lot of positives, about being on tour. I get to travel a lot. That's always a big one for everybody who's tuning into professional golf, is the amount of the amount that we get to travel, the places we get to see, the golf courses we get to play on. We're truly blessed in that regard. We play on some of the top golf courses in the world. So that's huge. We get to meet an array of people from all different countries and cultures. I've got friends from India, Iceland, Spain, Germany. I've got friends from all over the world. But yeah, as there are a lot of positives, they do come. The more difficult things. For one, you're always traveling, so you're not always at home. It's hard to have a routine. You find a travel routine, but it's not the same as having a base or having, you don't feel like you're at home. It's always hotels, you're always eating out, which some people, that sounds so cool. But, sometimes you just crave a little bit of normality when you travel so much. It's just living out of a suitcase and traveling all the time, being in a lot of airports, a lot of waiting time. Hopping on and off trains with golf bags, and a lot of those things that people don't see as well. So two sides to it always. But,
and also what I've realized is that sometimes you don't know if you have qualified for a tournament, and you can be told the night before and you need to get there. So there's that reality. Also, if we look at your top strengths, you've got discipline and you've got consistency in your top 5. And so when you're traveling and there's so many changes and unpredictable outcomes, how do you manage to keep your consistencies, and how do you manage to keep your discipline? I suppose your discipline is something that helps you stay focused and stay in the zone of what you're trying to achieve.
Yeah, look, I think it's easy to, eating was a big thing for me when I first started traveling, is having, it's a buffet breakfast, a buffet lunch, and you got to be disciplined to eat your vegetables and eat the right things, because it's going to give you energy at the end of the day. Another thing for me was sticking to a workout routine. I've become really disciplined in listening to my body, being on tour. Something I never used to do well. I always used to feel like I needed to push my body, and even when I felt tired, I feel like, no, I'm not going to make that an excuse. I need to keep pushing, because the only way I'm going to improve and get fitter. And I've with experience, I've learned to listen to my body, that if I'm tired, rest. That half an hour nap, or or even just stretch. Stretching can be revitalizing. A little bit of yoga, as you've taught us, can be revitalizing, more so than a 30-40 minute cardio session or weights session in the gym. And when you're playing so many tournaments, the body gets fatigued, so you work out less. So yeah, I think those are the two biggest things I'd say I've become quite disciplined at.
And Rajan, you mentioned yoga, and I think what I think you've come to realize is that you're on your feet playing golf for 5 hours, say 5 hours, and the yoga is not actually extra homework. It's more restorative, and it's more restorative for both the mind and the body. Would you agree?
Yeah, absolutely. A couple of deep breaths, really concentrated, a couple of breaths in and breaths out, calms my body tremendously. I do it on the golf course, and then, but to sit and well, not just sit, but do a yoga session for 40 minutes quietens the mind as well. It definitely doesn't feel like a chore to me. I feel so much better afterwards. It can be the first thing I do before I have my breakfast as soon as I wake up. And yoga is like that. It's revitalizing and relaxing at the same time. I love it.
Yeah. Okay. And I think you specifically, you've now moved over to the UK, and so that was quite a big thing. And then on the back of COVID, your game took a bit of a hit. Would you agree? And slowly things are starting to come back. Your swings back. But I think your mental health has improved. Would you say?
Yeah, look, COVID, I think, affected a lot of people in different ways, and it was a pity because, like I mentioned to you before, I had a really good stretch just before lockdown hit, and I was ready to take that confidence and good that rhythm overseas with me. And then lockdown hits, and I struggled the whole of last year and a little bit at the beginning of this year as well, trying to find that rhythm. And just settling things around me has been key, I think, and getting back to always what makes me have fun on the course, just being in my own space and getting back to that has helped.
Yeah. If anybody's got a question that they would like to ask Rajan, please pop it in the comments, because that would make it possibly easier for her to answer the questions. And if she can add some value to your life as pro golfers, I mean, maybe just share, where you started out and how you got on to the pro circuit, or what you had to do in order to get onto the European tour, because working with some of the other Sunshine ladies, that's their next step, that's their next goal, is to be on the European circuit.
Yeah, absolutely. It's a question I get asked quite often is how do you get on tour? How do you get into events? And the biggest way is to go to qualifying school. Qualifying school is basically a tournament that's 2 weeks long. You have a pre-qualifier, which is I think it's 4 rounds, and then you have a final qualifier, which is 5 rounds. So it's 2 weeks straight of golf, maybe with a 1 day's break. And that 2 weeks, basically, it's how you do in those 2 weeks. It's basically is how the next part of your year is going to look like, is how you perform in those 2 weeks. So it is pressurizing. It took me 3 goes at Q School to get my tour card, and finally got my full card for the 2018 at the end of 2018. So my first year was in 2019. So yeah, it is tough. My first year there was a lot to learn. It was my first time. Second year I went in with so much confidence, almost a little bit too much, and I expected it. And I think expectation got to me, and it didn't work out. And then my third year I was a little bit more relaxed, knew exactly what is going to go down, and I able to play to the ability I knew I had and get that tour card. So that's the main way you get onto the Ladies European Tour.
Okay, thank you. Yeah, I can see we've got
Tara, who's joined. Hello, Tara. If you would like to say anything, would you be happy to join the call? If you request to join, it'd be lovely to have you on here as well. So, because Tara is one of the Sunshine Ladies too. He has a question. How did you manage your expectations to perform better?
So the biggest thing I've learned probably the last year or so is to not have any expectations. I know that sounds hard, but it's something that Mark Fairbanks, who's an coach that I work with, that we worked on. And the thing is with golf is you don't know what you're going to get. Every time you go there, there's different elements, different weather, different conditions, and you don't know how your body's going to be the next day. All you can do is go out there with what you have on the day and hit the next shot right in front of you. And that's basically one of the ways I had to take away expectation. No expectation that I'm feeling good. I've practiced a lot, therefore I should play well. There's no such thing as I should play well. And I had to learn that very quickly. And the sooner I did, the better I played. That was a good question, Eva.
Okay.
Yeah,
it is a good question. And unfortunately, we're going to have to call it a day, but we'll continue to do these. I think it's very helpful for others, and we'll get some of the other pro golfers on it. And Jean, thank you so much for your time.
Pleasure. Thanks, Joe. Yeah, I'd love to do it again. And any questions that anyone has about tour golf, tour life, and what it's all about. I know, I'd love to try give some as much advice